Good morning, everyone. Once again, I am your host, Moco Pizza, and today I'll be talking about The Last of Us Episode 4. And well, it was so boring. Again, I don't know why, but the showrunners are so good at making a show so boring that I kind of wanted to look at my phone and look at like the live discussion in the comments section. But, bro, or grow. That episode was so boring. The only parts that I liked about it was when Joe and Ellie were in the car and they got ambushed. I'm really confused as to why they decided as to not run the guy over, the one asking for help, when in the game they did that. But then again, I remembered that HBO mentioned how with the adaptation of The Last of Us, they're going to reduce the amount of violence for some reason, and I guess that's why. Because the kills that Joel got in this episode were also off screen for the most part. Well, yeah, they were all off screen. Which is a shame because HBO used to be so good with violence and whatnot. And now we have like this rated PG type show where they're too afraid to show someone get murdered in cold blood by a gun, which is not acceptable. Like, if the game was rated T for teens, sure, but we're talking about a mature game with which should deserve a mature adaptation. Ugh, what a boring episode. I repeat, boring. The pun book has finally made its appearance and it was underwhelming to say the least. The jokes within the book itself, they were okay, but the delivery from Ellie was just not it. I didn't laugh. Instead, I was cringing. And it sucked because, in the game, the way that Ellie would pronounce the jokes was natural. And you would get a chuckle out of it at least. But in this show, bro, I was cringing. And I was just like, please switch to the next scene. And well, today, Ellie and Joel went to sleep twice in the episode, which I think was done too much. Only once should have been okay, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know. The pun delivery is not funny. And the last scene where Joel and Ellie were having like a moment, it did not feel organic. It just felt forced. Like, you're telling me that Joel really found that funny? Had it been something else, or I don't know, a diversion or something, then yeah, funny. But no, that just felt forced to me. I don't know. It was really bad. Caitlyn was finally introduced into the Last of Us show. Her appearance in the game does not exist, so she's practically a new character that I did not like either. Simply because she chose to kill a doctor because the doctor wouldn't tell her where Sam was. Like, really, why are you going to kill a doctor when there's an apocalypse going on and there's barely any doctors available? That was really stupid. Like, think about it. If you get sick, or if someone has to go through like a minor operation, a gunshot wound, or an arrow being like stuck to someone's head, if you need a doctor, why would you kill the doctor? And she's supposed to be the leader of this group. I did like the henchman that had like the white beard, which happens to be the same actor for Tommy in the games. I like him. But yeah, I don't know, like, it was just dumb. Why would you kill a doctor no matter the context? At least have like a slave doctor if you really don't want the doctor around. But no, let's go ahead and kill him. Because you're not telling me where these two dudes are. That really? Like, you have a whole mini militia and you choose to kill a doctor over that simple thing? That's just stupid. I like what Joel did at the end of the episode, like putting shattered glass across the door, just in case any intruders would come in. But it just so happened that somehow Henry and Sam happened to come in without alerting someone. However, one thing that I did like about the episode was Ellie mentioning that Joel has a bad ear because he has gone deaf from his right side, which is a pretty cool detail and would make sense because in most shows, like in The Walking Dead first episode, when Rick shoots inside a thing, he should have been deaf from that point on, but being a show, they're obviously not gonna do that. So I did like that they ended up doing that with the whole Joel possibly being slightly deaf from the right side of his ear. So I like that detail, but I did not like how Sam and Harry just happened to sneak. Because for me, personally, I'm a light sleeper. If I hear any slight noise, I'm going to be awake. So it just makes no sense as to why a 20-year-old survivor would fall for that kind of thing. I don't know. Let's see what ends up happening in episode 5. But for now, like, really, you're gonna be caught lacking in the moment out of nowhere when you're this supposed 20 plus year survivor? Come on. Another thing I did not like about the episode was the person that was shot by Ellie. The way he was, trying to de escalate the situation as to not get killed. The acting was quite cringy, but then again, it's not like I've ever been shot and begged for my life. So, but still, I don't know, like, the dialogue itself was just like, bruh, moment. Like, why couldn't the guy just, like, be quiet or do it like Joe would do in part 2, if you know what I mean? But no, he's gotta go cry and make you feel bad for the person. And not to mention that rather than Ellie saying how she felt sick for shooting the person, even though she was crying, she didn't really say anything. So, I don't know, in the game, she did say that she felt sick. It might just be me, but the theme song from the opening, which is the same from the games, just kept on being reused throughout the whole episode. And I was getting annoyed of it. Like, I know that they've used music from both games so far, besides the main theme song, but in this episode, it's like that was the only song available for some reason. And I was just like, why? Why can't you, like, play something else? Oh, and the song that was played in the radio, that was such a boring song. I was like, bro, it's HBO. They have the budget. Why couldn't they get, like, a better artist to be playing instead of that? Like, I get that the lyrics would make sense in the context of how she's just looking out the window. But that song was just boring, bro. Like, why couldn't she get something better? The Ellie in the game at least would have looked at the CDs, well, not CDs, cassettes, and would have found something better. I don't know. And why do they have cassettes when the games even have CDs? Why couldn't they find a CD player? I don't know. And the car wasn't even that old. And Bill would be the kind of person that would install a CD player if his truck does not have a CD player disc thing. When you condense the episode, the following just happened. Joe and Ellie are driving. Ellie tells a few puns from her pun book. They sleep. Then they go to the city. Joel finds someone asking for help. He does not help him. Instead, he just avoids him rather than running him over. There's a little fight in which 3 people are killed. One of them gets shot by Ellie by saving Joel. And they find at night this old building where they go all the way to the 33rd floor to sleep. And even though they had set up like a little noise trap, they get ambushed. And while all of that was happening, Kathleen, this leader from the Fedra, is searching for Sam and Henry because she needs to find them. These 2 people that could be dangerous because she's blaming them for killing those 3 people that Joe killed. But they really must be found by this small militia because, I don't know, maybe they're like world enders. They could kill everyone in the city. I don't know, it's just like, that's everything that happened. And I don't know, like, why? I mean, it's like a gift. How can you be so good at making something so boring consistently? I wish there was more to talk about, but there really isn't anything else to talk about. Like, that was all that happened. At least with episode 3, a lot was going on, but this time around, barely anything happened. And that's sad. I wish I was talking more about the episode, but I already covered everything. So anything coming out of my mouth just wants to make you listen to my beautiful voice. And that's just selfish. So with that, I am afraid that I have to say good night, everyone, and I hope that you enjoy the episode as much as I did, because my God, it was one of the best episodes I've seen in my life, and that's the truth.